All right, step one, email marketing. Okay, now, these are places where you can go to actually start looking at building your list. Okay, I've just put these up here. The reality is, when I ask people, do you have a database? Most people say yes, and then when I inquire a little bit further, I find those databases are one and two places. They're either in their accounting package, which is not a CRM, and often the data is incomplete because it's just the name of the customer and there's no email. So that is not a database. All right? The other place that I often find them are in Excel spreadsheets. Occasionally, there's also the contact lists in Outlook and Google Contacts and Gmail or whatever. All right? So those are the places where possibly your database is currently sitting. All right? So in your 90-day plan, one of the things you're going to be probably looking at doing is starting to build a CRM platform or utilize a CRM platform. Now you've got to start populating that with some information, right? So who are you going to put in as the first level of your information? Your existing customers, yeah? Those that you've at least got first name for and email address. That's the minimum requirement for you. You know they've purchased from you. Right. The other might be that you've been to some events and you've collected some business cards, right? Put those in a spreadsheet. That's maybe another place where you've got some data sitting, okay? You'll be surprised how much information you might already have, all right? For some of you, it might be in the thousands. And if you've got thousands of what once were customers and prospects sitting there in front of you, and you haven't contacted them in the last 6 months, guess what they are now? Leads. They've reverted. They've gone right back. You haven't added more value to them, okay? So how do we add more value to them, all right? Well, we've got to actually invest in a CRM, a customer relationship management software, okay? There's a whole heap of different types of systems. Some are commonly called CRMs, but they're not really. They are just email platforms. And they are things like Aweber and iContact. I've used MailChimp and I've used Constant Contact over the years. And look, they're okay. They have their merits. They have, they're good starting points. All right, and if you're just starting out in business, then you've got to find a place to start, all right? Then there are actual, what we call, that's traditionally called CRM software, that is an actual system, but it's not a proper email system as well. So it's trying to find a blend of the two, if you can. They're things like Act and Salesforce, Insightly, Zoho. Some of you might even be using these or have used them in the past. Sugar CRM's another one. Who's familiar with some of these names, some of these brand names? Yeah? Okay. So these are the ones where the software operates in such a way where it helps your sales force or your sales reps, your sales team, manage their little pool of customers. Okay? With keeping records of what the purchases have been, keeping records of different notes and conversations. It's all got to be manually entered and so on and so forth. It may have a basic email function incorporated in it as well, but it will not be able to manage a full sequenced campaign very easily normally, okay? So what I use nowadays is Ontraport, which I've mentioned before. Go and investigate it. Some of you may look at it and go, oh my God, that's expensive. But the reality is, it competes with, and Nat mentioned the name before, it competes with Infusionsoft. Okay, it's built to compete with Infusionsoft. So Nat's experienced both Ontraport and Infusionsoft, and she's just saying that it's better. And look, I have to agree, but unlike Infusionsoft, there is no massive outlay for setup fees, okay? When I was looking in Infusionsoft, because I was looking to upgrade my system, I was using Constant Contact. Infusionsoft wanted $5,000 US just to set up. And then I said, piss off, and they said, well, let's make it $1,999 US. And I go, okay, so which way's the wind blowing in Seattle? I don't know. How did you come up with that figure? And they still couldn't answer me. And so then I looked at Ontraport and found that I could get, pretty much the same bells and whistles, the Rolls Royce, for what I really say is the high-endo price, i.e. there's still an ongoing monthly fee that you need to be aware of, and go and have a look at it for yourself. But with that, there was no setup price. It was just get started. Pay your monthly subscription, and I like that. Right? To me, that's the modern way of doing software. Everything's just a monthly subscription. A bit like Xero. I think Xero was really the one who really started that whole trend.